Peace and blessings, friends, and welcome to Indigo Intuitive Tarot. This is going to be your Capricorn full moon urgent messages from your spirit team reading. Okay. The full moon is going to be on Monday, June 29th. But baby, there's a whole lot happening. Okay, there's a whole lot happening. We're gonna have the full moon at the same time. Mercury is going retrograde, and I think something is happening with Neptune. Might be moving into Leo. I think I read that. Now listen, beyond just the full moon, right, which is, you know, a lot of big energy. This is gonna be part of your channeled messages, actually. So along with the full moon just being big energy, right? If you've ever worked in retail, the service industry, the medical industry, emergency services with the public, you know, during full moons, stuff gets wild, right? Okay. But we're having this Mercury in retrograde. Now, they always say, oh, Mercury in retrograde is when your exes come back. It's when your exes come back. And yes, that can be true. However, do you know why? Do you know why that comes back? Why that comes back around? It's usually because there's something you're meant to wrap up regarding that situation, right? I, myself, some other people don't have exes come back during Mercury retrograde. You want to know why? Because we've wrapped that up, right? We've closed that chapter. Now, as I was pulling cards this morning just to kind of warm up my, you know, listening and energy and get in tune with the cards, I got this song. Now, this was originally recorded by Enrique Iglesias, but when I heard it, it was by a band called Ringside, all one word, and it's called Tired of Being Sorry. This came out like 2007, so it was quite some time ago, and I'll never forget, I was in a car, and it came on NPR, right? And, you know, NPR tends to play a lot of like smaller, like indie bands, at least at that time they did. And I mean, me and the person I was in the car with sat and actually listened to the full song because it was so good. Like at the time, we really liked it. But the line that I keep getting from that song is, one, I don't want to fight. I'm tired of being sorry. And like, there's a part where they say like I've lost myself. I need to find my way. I've got to get to you. So someone might be really sitting in that kind of like Five of Swords, regretful sort of energy. Like, I got to get to you. I got to say I'm sorry. Okay. So if someone comes back at this time to say they're sorry, what I would do is, instead of fighting and being like, you did this and I mean, you can speak your piece, but I would accept it and I would move on. I would wrap up the cycle. Okay. This does kind of a little bit go along with the message that I gave you all in the last reading about doing deep emotional excavation. If you're doing this type of work, if old wounds are resurfacing and you're processing and releasing, which is a thing a lot of people do with full moons, is they release. Okay, I would keep it simple with any rituals, practices, etc., etc. You don't need 12,000 candles and 12,000 oils, right? Like, if you've already done deep emotional work, keep it simple, okay, if you're releasing at this time. However, you know, if you've done all this work, if you've gone through this process, then when they return, if someone should return at this time, I would say, you know, keep it simple, accept the apology, move on, or don't accept the apology, but let it be complete, okay? So keep it simple. Keep it simple with your ritual work, your spell work, your releasing rituals, whatever you're doing, right? Because with the Mercury retrograde and the full moon, that's a lot of energy, right? Now, the full moon is in the sign of Capricorn, which is an earth sign. It's very, very stable. It's very grounded, almost to the point of being boring, right? But with it being a retrograde, with it being the full moon, like, chill, okay? Just chill. So that is what I have for you. So I am going to Eight of Swords. You in a mental prison? Maybe that person is. I don't want to fight. I'm tired of being sorry. I'm standing in the street and I'm crying out for you. It's part of that song. Okay? So, This is, again, going to be urgent messages from your spirit team for this full moon. Now, these are intuitive messages and downloads via the tarot, as well as several oracle cards per usual. Now, while these intuitive messages and downloads are intended for your spiritual growth and expansion, they may also, and oftentimes do, apply to other areas and aspects of your incarnation in this crazy 3D reality. So please, as always, take what applies, and if it doesn't apply, what do? We let it fly. Okay. All right. Tired of being sorry. Maybe you were right, but baby, I was lonely. Now, I'm not intending this to be a love reading, but I don't know. This song, I keep hearing it over and over and over again in my head. Okay, we're gonna see what they have to say. Also, my cat is sitting right next to me if he tries to climb on this table. All right, so first card number 1, your current energy. Card number 2, the message the medicine your spirit team would like you to receive at this time. Card number 3, what is blocking said message? What? Said message? Y'all, I'm only 3 sips deep into this coffee. So, card number 3 is what is blocking said medicine. Now, for card number 4, their direct message to you. Card number 5, how they would like you to move forward at this time. Okay, cool. If I can get the damn words out. All right. On the bottom, justice. Is this returning apology going to balance some scales? Someone receiving a little bit of karmic consequences. We'll see. Your current energy. Elder of Pentacles. This is the King of Pentacles in this deck. Okay. Your medicine. 8 of Wands. What's blocking said medicine? 4 of Wands. Oof. Okay. Direct message from your spirit team. High Priestess. How they would like you to move forward. Ace of Pentacles. Oh, that's good. I think we had this card in this position in one of the last readings that I did for urgent messages from your spirit team. Excuse me. Again, sitting, I almost said sitting pretty, but like sitting well, right? 77 might be your lucky number, might be an angel number for you, but you're doing well. You're stable. You're okay. Probably working a good bit. Could be. All right, but you're abundant. Now your medicine. 8 of Wands. Yeah, there's something about this incoming information. Do you hear me? I've lost myself. I've got to get to you. Damn. Being blocked by the 4 of Wands, though. There's something around your stability that you do not want this person or this message or this information to return to you. Right? But the medicine really is that whatever this person has to say, it's going to balance the scales. Now, their direct message to you is the High Priestess. Listen, if you don't use your intuition and your discernment when this person comes in, you're not going to be able to tell if they're bullshitting you or not. I'm just going to say it really plainly. Okay. She has the moon behind her, but it's not a full moon, right? I feel like this person might be a little intimidated to come in because, like, if they're feeling like, you know, you were right, I was wrong, I'm tired of being sorry, you know, that sort of thing. It's like they might not give you the full truth, and maybe that's where your discernment needs to come in. Okay. But look, how they want you to move forward at this time is this Ace of Pentacles. Again, you're the Elder of Pentacles, King of Pentacles. This movement forward should be pretty effortless for you. Okay. Balanced, stable, abundant. Okay. You're already sitting in your abundance. Okay. This could be, of course, a new job, a new, financial opportunity. Absolutely. but moving forward with something real, something tangible, something that you can grow here. Something as stable as that mountain in that photo, right? But notice there's water coming off of that mountain. It looks like there's like a pond or something there. It's because money and coin, if you will, is an energy. It's meant to flow. It's never meant to be stagnant, right? So this new beginning might have you moving into things that are new opportunities, essentially, right? So let those definitely flow into your experience. All right, Spirit team, we have the Elder of Pentacles, the King of Pentacles. I might have a thing with frogs. You might have recently seen a frog. Okay. There's also mushrooms there. What is that? Is that shiitake? Looks like shiitake mushroom. Listen, I love mushrooms. I do. Culinary mushrooms and functional mushrooms. You know, really all mushrooms. I love all mushrooms. All right. Spirit team, why is the Elder of Pentacles here? I also just heard Pacific Northwest, so I don't know if any of you are in the Pacific Northwest. Like, I'm getting like old growth forest, mushrooms, Paul Stamets, Pacific Northwest. Okay. All right, Elder of Pentacles, the Wheel, the Knight of Wands, and the Emperor. Now, y'all know me and this Knight of Wands go round and round every single time. The Knight of Wands, you know, I call them Mr. or Mrs. excuse me, here for a good time, not a long time, right? Someone is wanting to come in to change the direction of things. I'm not saying this person is going to try to overpower you, but this very in and out energy is going to come in to test their luck. They're going to present as an emperor. Okay. Now, you showing up as the King of Pentacles, Elder of Pentacles, and believe me, like gender and energy are fluid, masculine, feminine, it does not matter. Okay. But I'm getting you as someone who's settled, as someone who's grounded, right? When this type of like in and out, quick energy comes in around you, you watch it and you observe it. You watch it and you observe it. Do you know how good an owl's eyesight is? Like, they're supposedly have like really amazing eyesight and like really amazing hearing and senses and things. That's kind of what makes them good hunters. It's like you sit and you watch it and you wait for it to actually reveal itself. It's going to show up as the Emperor. Now, is it the Emperor? Maybe. Maybe. Eight of Pentacles is here. Have they done this work? Are they making good decisions? The Strength card, possibly. And look, the Eight of Wands returns, okay? This is going to be a judgment call also on your end and a discernment exercise, an exercise in discernment, okay? But this is the current energy. This person currently might just be thinking about returning, right? And now if this isn't about another person, say this is about you, right? There's something in your energy where I always say, you know, with the universe, you co-create with the universe, right? Like, you're not a passive participant. How you behave helps to dictate or let the universe know how to spin this wheel, right? So if this is your current energy and you're the Elder of Pentacles, right? There might be an area of your experience, of your life, where you're not really settled on, where you might be really passionate about, but never really apply yourself, right? And to level up to the Emperor via this wheel, you kind of got to step into a bigger role, right? Yes, find out where your passions lie. Yes, go towards those areas. But once you get there, sit your ass down and stay there. Okay. Okay. This can go a few different ways. You know, not everything is relationship, love related. You know, maybe there's no one that wants to come in to give you some sort of message. Now, I said that band is called Ringside. One of you might have a connection to boxing or possibly wrestling, something that happens in a ring. I don't know. That just came to me. Especially with like the red in his shirt, like red boxing gloves. Okay. I don't know. Maybe your dad is a boxer. My dad was really into boxing. 10 of Swords. This could have been someone that stabbed you in the back. Absolutely. Especially with that damn Knight of Wands. Here for a good time, not a long time. Now, your medicine. 8 of Wands. Crossed by the 4 of Wands. There's something about this that you don't want to hear. The Lovers. The 9 of Cups. You know this is coming. Maybe. Listen, my collective is tapped in, tuned in, turned on. You know this is coming. You do. I'm getting that you are really worried that this is going to upset your stability, and that's why you don't want to hear it. You're afraid of possibly getting pulled back in, right? I think maybe if you are in separation from a person, you found some emotional fulfillment and you don't want them like messing with your mind. You don't want them messing with your mind. Okay. If this is not about a relationship, which, I mean, you have the Lovers, right? You might be hearing, honestly, I almost want to say, like, if it's not about another person, but you might be hearing that a past person has moved on and you kind of knew it, but you don't want to hear it, right? This could have been someone you lived with, but I am getting this is kind of about a relationship or past relationship or past person. Okay. Now, since you have the High Priestess here twice, you may feel psychically or telepathically connected to this person. I've definitely had people in my past that I could tell when they were thinking about me, or I could feel when they were thinking about me. I mean, going all the way back to high school, I had someone like that. So I don't know. I'm getting like, once you were able to kind of free yourself or put distance between yourself and this person or this person, you know, the situation, and you were able to put distance between yourself and the situation, excuse me, was when you really kind of started to return to your intuition or start to receive messages again, or you just got really clear with your intuition, right? Maybe things are coming to you in dreams. And listen, you can process a lot in your dreams if you know how. This is where like lucid dreaming comes in, right? Because I've had dreams about people that I dated previously that, like, once I told them, you know, buzz off, without cursing, you know, I'm trying not to curse. Once I told them to go to hell, essentially, in my dream, I never dreamt about them again. So you might be receiving messages in your dreams, right? You might be receiving communication in your dreams with this 8 of Wands. And I feel like it's your logical mind, your stable mind is trying to dismiss it, okay? Okay, so High Priestess. Why is she here? He, she, they, them. Energy's fluid, gender's fluid. Y'all know the deal. High Priestess, for your direct message, especially since you have that here twice. a lot of cards. Spirit, how many? Okay, cool. Justice, twice now. The Hanged Man, the Queen of Wands. Bottom, Page of Cups, yep. It's funny, I was getting very Page of Cups energy when I was doing the downloaded messages, like, you know, someone returning, feeling bad, you know, it's very like shy kind of energy. High Priestess, Justice, the Hanged Man, Queen of Wands. I just heard you're getting really clear about what you will tolerate and what you won't tolerate, because the Queen of Wands isn't having it. Okay. The Queen of Wands is very much into herself, into her own emotional fulfillment, into her own creativity, her own beautiful, colorful, bright expression, right? I always say she's like the socialite, the outgoing, you know, probably likes to go to parties and dinners and all those sorts of things, right? But with the Hanged Man, seeing it with a new perspective, like I said, once you have separated yourself from some sort of person or situation, you get really, really clear. You see things clearly, right? You're getting the divine downloads, if you will. Because I feel like you know that this person wants to tell you something, wants to talk to you, wants to apologize. They're really wanting you to know that this will give you the closure that you need. This will balance the scales, even if it's something you're afraid to hear, something you're afraid to know, a conversation you don't want to have. That it's okay to have it. Okay. Could this be you going to them to have it? Sure, but I feel like it's them coming to you, especially because of the song that I kept hearing. They want you to see this in a new way. This isn't the same old energy, especially if you were a part of the collective from my last video where I talked about doing all of this emotional work, emotional excavation, releasing with the full moon, etc., etc. Some people are really weird about doing any sort of ritual or spell work during a Mercury in retrograde as well, so just keep that in mind. That is why I said please keep it simple. You know, the acronym KISS. I'm going to say keep it simple, sweetie, not keep it simple, stupid, because none of my collective are stupid. Keep it simple, sweetie, right? Things can get really, really complicated, you know, sometimes with like spell work during Mercury retrograde. So it's just really big energy, okay? But they want you to see it now as something that is going to close it out. I just heard that song from the 90s, You've Got the Power. It's because she's holding that wand. Right? Like you hold the power now. You hold the wand, right? And I think it's through finding some emotional fulfillment, from finding some freedom, some space, right? But you hold the power now. I said it was going to be an exercise in discernment. Look at discernment as a tool, right? Like a really great tool. You don't have to be pulled back into this cycle, but it is going to balance the scales if you let it happen. Okay. Now, I'm going to say this. I'm going to preface this because I know someone's going to say, well, my ex-person is a narcissist and is dangerous and is abusive. And if that is the case, I will never tell you to ever be in contact with someone like that. Okay. So that is not what I am suggesting here. Block them, get away from them. Don't engage at all. Okay. If someone is dangerous, please do your best to contact the authorities and get away from that person, okay? Yeah, look what's on the bottom. Knight of Swords. Incoming clarity. Coming to tell you something. I've got to get to you. I keep hearing that line in the song, I've got to get to you. I lost myself. I gotta find my way. I've got to get to you. Okay. How they want you to move forward at this time. Ace of Pentacles. Spirit team, why is the Ace of Pentacles here for the collective? For how you're looking to move forward? Oh, wait. There was a card overturned. I just saw it. The moon. Yep. So many cards, Spirit. They said take this one. Okay. Take the bottom. Okay. Yep, look. You're wrapping up a cycle, babe. The cycle is wrapping up. Yep. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You have the moon. I'm telling you, because the moon can also be about dreams and your subconscious. There is something with dreams, intuition, subconscious, something like like you feel this. Okay? You feel this. This 10 of Cups energy, this like loving relationship. It's either going to wrap up, you're going to wrap up this past stuff and move towards something new and start a new cycle elsewhere. Some of you, I know, are going to try to go back to that person. I don't recommend it. I don't recommend it. You know, I always say going back is like trying to reheat old, stale, soggy nachos, but you do you. I'm just reading tarot cards on the internet, you know. But you have a chance for a really stable new beginning here if you can wrap up this cycle. This moon card might be suggesting you have a little bit of also anxiety around it. You're like, I don't know what's next. Thank you, Spirit. I don't know what's next. I'm a little afraid. I see this new beginning. I see the possibility of moving towards a beautiful 10 of Cups, loving, emotionally fulfilling, emotionally abundant relationship. But I gotta wrap up this cycle. Was it my last reading? I said a lot of times we will choose a familiar cage for an unfamiliar freedom. Maybe you don't want to wrap up this cycle because you're not ready to let it go. It's almost like the thought of this person's energy still orbiting you brings you some sort of comfort because it's familiar and you know what it is, right? Could this person now be stable? Sure. Sure. Right? Could this just be about you being fair to yourself? Absolutely. Wrapping up this cycle would probably be the most fair thing you could do for yourself. But it's like there's this one final piece, this one final chapter that you need to move through to wrap this up. You got new love coming in. This is a new relationship or a new beginning, a loving new beginning. This is what you're afraid of. You're afraid of this conflict. You're afraid of this conversation. You're afraid of having this conversation because you think it's going to be an argument. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be. I'm not saying this person is worth your compassion and your loving heart. But if you have strong boundaries here with the 7 of Wands, you'll be able to move through it. Wrap up this cycle. The full moon, good time to release. Good time to release, especially if you've been doing a lot of emotional processing, okay? I was not going to pull romance oracle cards on this, but I think that it might be a good idea, okay? Might be a bit of a good idea. Actually, I'm gonna pull these first. All right, Spirit team. What you got for the collective here? I don't know why they're telling me to pull these first. Listen, I am truly someone who is led by this type of energy. And sometimes it might look crazy to people. Oh, you're doing things out of order and you changed your mind. Listen, if I get that intuitive hit, baby, I'm gonna do it. Like, I'll never forget a couple years ago, I was laying out my yoga mat, just about to do yoga, right? And my spirit team said, go to the grocery store right now and get a cinnamon broom. You know, those cinnamon brooms that come out during like autumn, little wood, you know, brooms that smell real good. You know, I got up and I went to the store because they told me to. Now, did anything happen? Did I meet anyone that I was supposed to meet? No, but they told me to, so I had to do it. I had to do it. All right, Spirit Team. 3 cards for the collective. 3 cards. Loosen your grip, coping mechanisms, destiny, addiction, let God in. Ooh, that's a very interesting card. The golden children, inner child, tenderness, innocence, rare gifts. I told you, I think it's my collective. They have intuitive gifts here. You might have had gifts since you were a child, actually. Okay, thank you, Spirit Team. Thank you. Oh, they gave me 2 more. See, they like to be smart asses sometimes, my Spirit Team. I'm not even joking. Like, I'll be like, 3 cards. They give me 4 or 5. They do. They just be doing all kinds of stuff. You are not alone. You're not alone. And then Earthed, learning how to be human in the world, but not of it. That is a lesson for me, honey, because I can tell you stories. Anyway. I think part of your message here is really to let this happen with loosen your grip. Like I said, this is what's going to give closure. Now, you might already have closure, right? But this is really what's going to close out this cycle for you, okay? Again, I'm not saying that this person deserves your compassion or your loving heart, but something is saying, like, treat them with tenderness, just hear them out. You don't have to necessarily respond with any sort of emotional gushing or, and you know, none of that. Just like, okay, thank you. Thank you for this information, that sort of thing. But be tender. Okay. You're not alone. Isolation, physical connection, community. Remember I said I feel like you and this person have some sort of telepathic, you might have some sort of telepathic bond or psychic connection. It's possible, okay? Like I said, you might be able to feel them when they're thinking about you. Remembering we're all human, right? We're all spirit embodied, you know, having a human experience. Okay. Now, if this person did you dirty, you know, like I said, you don't have to treat them kindly per se, but I would listen, because something about the information that you are going to receive is going to allow you to wrap it up. All right, Spirit Team, what do you have for the collective here regarding this situation? I said take this one. Okay, give me 1 more, so we have 4 of the other one. Okay. Ascending, learning, expansion, transcending, preparing for union, new phase. Baby, I'm telling you, this cycle is coming to an end. Healthy choices, self-love, self-care, being happier, love and life. You had that 9 of Cups there. I said, I think you found some emotional freedom and emotional fulfillment once you were able to separate from this person. Ship, cutting ties, moving on, receiving what you need, progression and arriving. The Butterfly, evolving and growth. Next phase, healing inner child. Or was it? Healing inner child. Releasing the past. This is it, honey. This is it. There's one last step to wrapping this up. You have beautiful, beautiful things waiting for you on the other side of this. It's on the bottom. Sword and Rose, clarity and truth, revelations. Yeah, this is going to provide you with some clarity. You're gonna get clarity, you're gonna get closure, and maybe it's just that the other person needs closure. What's this say? Lightworker, starseed, serve the world by being you. Yeah, be authentic. You know, like I said, you don't have to be super compassionate and overly loving with this person and overly kind if someone was mean to you, cruel to you, did you dirty, right? So be authentic, be firm. You had the 7 of Wands come out. You're definitely going to be firm in your boundaries. You're definitely going to be discerning. But look what's happening for you on the other side of this, okay? It's just one last thing to complete before a new cycle can begin. So this is what I have for you. I truly, truly hope that this has provided you with some guidance and some clarity, as it is always my intention to serve. So happy full moon. Happy June. I hope that you all are taking care of yourselves. And I will talk to y'all very, very soon.